Soda, pop, soft drinks, Coke. Whatever you call it, we all drink it at one time or another. Just about everyone on the planet has tasted the sultry flavors of a crisp Coca Cola. But soda has a longer and weirder history than most people know. Today everyone worries about the negative health effects of drinking soda. But for the 3 millennia that people have been drinking fizzy water before that, almost everyone thought that it was a magical cure-all medicine. What changed? I'm Daniel Seehausen, and this is the Answer Archive, a strange history of soda. The history of soda begins much longer ago than most people would expect. As with most things that I talk about in this show, it goes all the way back to ancient Greece. In 400 BC, a man named Hippocrates, of Hippocratic Oath fame, was one of the first people to suggest that carbonated water had medicinal properties. Unfortunately for the Greeks, the ancient world didn't know how to artificially produce soda water. It took nearly 2 millennia for people to master the art of creating artificial carbonated water. And when they did, everything changed. In 1767, a Presbyterian minister and scientist named Joseph Priestley was the first to create artificial soda water in the lab. 5 years later, he perfected the process and submitted it to the Royal Society of London. For his work, he was awarded the highest honor the society gave, the Copley Medal. Sadly, the Royal Society and Priestley were both significantly off base on what soda water actually did. The people of the time still believed that carbonated water had many healing properties, and the Royal Society prescribed it as a cure for scurvy. This, of course, did not work. However, Priestley's invention did change the world in many, many other ways. Priestley began a wildfire of development surrounding carbonated water. Within just a few years, another man named John Knuth improved on Priestley's invention in several ways. Firstly, Priestley's invention used a pig bladder to inject the carbon dioxide into the water, and because of this, Knuth tasted a small amount of urine in the soda. He managed to make a design that quickly and effectively created carbonated water. Knuth reached out to Priestley and shared his new invention, and told him that he'd managed to remove the taste of urine from the water. Priestley was not happy that Knuth insulted his design, and said that if Knuth was tasting urine in his water, it was probably because his servants were peeing in it. Regardless, Knuth turned out to be the winner. His device swiftly spread throughout Europe. Even 100 years later, it was so popular that Arthur Conan Doyle wrote it could be seen in 221B Baker Street, in Sherlock Holmes' house. Then, another great improvement occurred in the science of sparkling water. A new device was developed by a man named Johann Jacob Schweppes. It was even more effective and higher quality than Knuth's. Schweppes' invention was the best the world had seen when it came to mass-producing soda water. It was operated by turning a crank, and he was able to produce the most carbonated beverage the world had known thus far. He teamed up with some business partners, and after Schweppes foiled some attempts at corporate espionage, they were able to create a successful business selling soda water in Geneva. Eventually, their business was so successful that Schweppes' partners suggested he go set up an offshoot of the company in London. Johann Jacob Schweppes obliged, and by 1792, he was in London. At first, Schweppes had a lot of difficulty launching a soda business in London. Britain had already developed a bubbling market around sparkling water, and Schweppes found breaking into the industry more difficult than he anticipated, even with his superior soda. After a few months of consistent failure, Schweppes contacted his business partners and said he just wanted to come back home. They convinced him not to give up, and he said he would stay, so long as his 15-year-old daughter, Colette, would come and join him. She safely crossed France and made it to London. And then, of course, Schweppes' partners said it was time to give up. Schweppes was not happy about this suggestion. He basically told them, "No, I'm not coming back until winter's passed," and that they could just deal with it. They responded by ending their business with him, and Schweppes was left stranded in London. After a lot of work though, he got endorsements from the richest and most powerful men in London, and his soda started selling. One person who endorsed his water was Erasmus Darwin. He was a pioneering biologist at the time, and if he thought Schweppes' water was the best, you can bet the rest of London did too. He also had a grandson by the name of Charles. You may have heard of him. Schweppes quickly got rich and sold his business, and he went into retirement with his daughter Colette. He enjoyed the rest of his life tending a garden in Geneva. If you haven't figured it out yet, he was the very same man that Schweppes, one of the most famous sparkling waters in the world, was named after. But this was only the beginning for soda. So if you want to hear the rest of the story, you'll have to come back next week. And we'll finally get to Coca Cola, and some of its rivals too. Sources in the description below. If you liked it, you should subscribe. Right here, I've got another great video for you. And here's a playlist to binge all my videos, if you're into that. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.